Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game 6 of Day 2 of Uprising 2021, held in the lovely yet sweltering Adelaide metropolis in South Australia. My name is Adam Camilleri. I will be your host for proceedings for this last game of today, being joined by the intrepid and incredible Mick Standing. Hello, brother. How are you doing today?
Hello, Adam. I'm doing very well. Yes, thank you for having me.
Dude, how good was last game? How good was the last round? And we still got one more to go.
Oh man, that last round we have seen the king of change himself. Zench has possesses with the Kingslayer. Matt Morosoli has taken over Liam Hackett, the Australian Master, to be the new number one ranked player coming into round 6 here.
Yeah, really interesting that they played off in the end of Masters on day one of Masters in Game 3 to see really who was going to kind of win that. They played off in the final table, of course, to see who was going to be the master for 2021 in Australia. And then they played again. And some people are already saying that that was the decider for who's going to win this event. Liam's of the opinion that there might not be anyone left in the field with the ability to stop Matt from taking it all now. I don't fully disagree with him, but I don't fully agree with him either. Some things can still go wrong. Some people can still come out and surprise you. And there's definitely some good armies out there that go into his demon list. So, yeah, this is going to be really exciting. Just switching our notice. Who have we got on our top table? We've got 3 tables. And once again, we are calling our top ones. But are you able to let the people know who we're going to see today?
Yeah, no worries at all, mate. And like Liam's touched on there, yes, it's going to be hard for anyone to get a grip on Matt Morosoli as he has taken ahead now. But mathematically, we do have a couple of players that are still capable of doing that. So game 1, on I believe table 1, we're going to see Matt Morosoli versus our Tyrannid player, which is Shane.
Yeah, who's up on table 2?
On table 2, we have Jay Hansen versus Liam Hackett there.
Yep, and what's the last one?
And the last one there is Gabe versus our man from the Normal Blokes, the man that people have come to see, Luke Pearce.
Playing the Templars. I would love it if he wins that game. I'd love it if he goes all the way and wins the whole damn event. But he's up against it in Gabe. So for those of you who don't know how Australia kind of works, it's a pretty damn big place. Luke Pearce is up from Queensland and Normal Blokes. They've got a very, very strong scene up there. And he is one of the better players of that scene. But unfortunately, due to the studies and he's, at a PhD, he's not the most consistent tournament player. But when he does commit himself, he's quite good, isn't he?
Yeah, he definitely is. When we do finally get to see him unleash and get into it, he's always there, found on the top tables. And he's quite often, since I've started having a bit of a hand here with you boys, doing a bit of commentary, he has been one of the partners that I've had next to me too. So his knowledge of the game can be found elsewhere. And it's actually very high, second to none, really.
Yeah, he's right up there for game knowledge as well. He's up against it in Gabe Dello. Gabe is probably the best player from this home state. So this home state of South Australia, he's the best player in this state. So he is definitely a heavy swinger, not to be taken lightly. He's playing mono Drakari as well, an imposing, really scary list on top of that. We actually might have to jump into the action straight away. Liam, the man who knows no chill, is making some big plays and looks like he's gone first into Jay Hansen. First thing we'll do when we jump in, if you want to just run away and tell us what we are seeing on the scoreboard and the secondaries they have chosen, mate, the transition should be coming up momentarily for everybody. But this is the game in the top right-hand corner. As you can see, man, Liam knows no chill. Liam has no chill, and he's just going straight for it. But what are you seeing there, mate?
No worries. I'll recap the scores that we have here. So we'll start with Jay Hansen. He is the commander of the Salamanders. He has taken the mission primary. He has taken data intercept. He has taken grind them down, which is a very interesting choice here. And he has taken raise the banners. Touching on with Liam Hackett, he has also taken data intercept. And he has also taken raise the banners. Actually, maybe I'm going to have a look at this, and I think these will actually be the wrong way around, because I do believe we'll find Oath of the Moment will belong to Jay Hansen.
Yes.
Yeah, if Liam Hackett has taken Oath of the Moment in the previous game, he has ditched his alliance to the Dark Gods and once again claimed alliance to the Emperor, which I do not believe that is something that he would have done.
Well, people who look closely at his possessed will find that they are actually converted assault intercessors. He was able to pick up quite a ridiculous amount of them on the cheap from people splitting in dominance boxes. And so, yeah, he's just picked up 60 of them, of the push fit ones. And yeah, so I believe these are other way around. It makes all the sense in the world for Jay to take, for Liam to take grind them down. Makes no sense at all for Jay to do it. So yeah, definitely the other way around, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Oath is impossible.
So why don't you take it ahead, Adam, and you tell us what we're seeing on the table here. What have we got going on here?
Liam has gone first, guys. We've had a pretty defensive deployment by Jay. The big thing to note here is Jay has deployed his entire army. He's got 3 units of Plasma Inceptors. They're all starting on the board, and he's got a big wall of 15 Blade Guard veterans holding down the forts, screening them off from being touched. Liam has slung. He has got a unit of his possessed, fully buffed them up with everything they can have, and he has slung them across the table, getting into combat with what looks like 2, maybe 3 into them. He's already picked up 1 whole unit. Will he pick up another is the question. These possessed are absolutely lethal into Imperium. So through the use of Prescience and the Icon of Excess for being Slanesh, he can have exploding force to hit against Imperium. And this is something we've been seeing by the two big swingers at this event playing Chaos. Both Matt Morosoli and Liam have both teched into anti-Imperium stuff. What do you think, man? Do you think he's going to get both units of 5? And was this the right choice by him?
Good choice, it definitely is. It depends to see how aggressive he's going to be. I think he probably will get both units. I think he probably will. What do you think?
I think he gets both. If he doesn't get both, he heavily compromises that other one. It doesn't matter. These possessed are going to be hitting on 2s, re-rolling possibly, and they're going to be wounding on 2s because they're strength 5 re-rolling. Whether Jay popped the transhuman remains to be seen, but I think that is going to be, there's the last one from that 1 unit. And then looks like he's had 2 picked up from there. Will he have any more picked up? Surely he got a few more than that. Surely he didn't just get 2 from that
what do you think about
squad.
the retaliation here? So Liam, like you said, he's got no chill. He's coming early. He's pushed right in there. But there is a lot of Plasma Receptors sitting there waiting to kill as many possessed as possible. What do you think? So we know he's going to be in that Feel No Pain range. It has come back to bite him a couple of times, but he has got that tendril out from all his buff characters sitting in the center of the table there, and he does have that Feel No Pain. What are you expecting here? So what has he got? He's got a unit of 6, a unit of 5, and a unit of 3. So we are looking at 14 there. Do you reckon that's enough to kill a unit?
Absolutely. Because of the blast rule, I think these guys would get
100%.
squished. And if you'll notice, Liam has not taken what he usually takes, which is While We Stand, We Fight. I think he knows that Jay's damage output is just so significant that he's probably going to lose 1, maybe 2 units possessed throughout this game. What's very interesting here is he didn't lose the whole squad of Blade Guard in the top. That could only lead me to believe that they got transhumaned. That's the only way I think they wouldn't have survived. They would have survived that. He did pick up a whole 1 squad. I can't really see where the other squad is because it's definitely a unit of intercessors on the bottom that he's tagged into there. Yes, I see a unit of 3. I see another unit of 3, and then I see so he's picked up 2 from 1 squad, 2 from another, and a whole 5. So pretty good result.
So what we're looking at what units they have available there, Adam. Shall we run through what these 2 boys have in their list? Obviously, they've been prevalent on the stream today, but just to make sure that everyone knows what's going on at home, shall we run through what both guys are packing here?
Yeah, please do. Whichever one you got up, man, please run it through.
All right, man. Well, I have been going with Liam all day, so I will continue with that. So, as we know, he has a Wordbearer Legion. HQ-wise, he is running 3 units. He has a Dark Apostle, he has a Master of Possession, and he has a Sorcerer. Troops-wise, he has 3 units of 10 Cultists. And in the elites, you have his heavy hitters, all with the Icon of Excess and the Mark of Slanesh. He has 20 possessed, 3 units of them. Then we're going through, he has a Chaos Alliance of Slanesh. He has Selesky and 9 Demonettes, and I'm pretty certain for the 3rd time today I've got that wrong there, Adam.
Dude, best time yet. Tomorrow you'll have it down pat.
If Liam could start losing more games so I don't have to read out his list, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, if Liam could just stop, that would be great. Learn some chill, brother. I might have to teach him some chill.
We need some more Solis.
Yeah, but dude, this list is terrifying, and it is doing the damage, doing the work. And it's interesting though that he went. He's gone first, and I just didn't know that he made that play. Legitimately though, with all the Inceptors being on the board, I don't think he had a choice. He needs to go in, needs to do the damage. What will be interesting here is I fully expect Liam to kill himself out from the back line forward. I expect that unit to be staying up close, tight, and personal, because even 1, sometimes 2 of those possessed with the right buffs can kill like 3 or 4 of these Inceptors, which would absolutely be worth it. Jumping over, I will take you through Mr. Jay Hansen's list. Starts off with Salamanders. He's just straight up Salamanders, no ifs, no buts. He's a Chaplain, which is a Chapter Master with a Jump Hack Master of Sanctity. He has 5 Blade Guard Veterans, 5 Blade Guard Veterans, 3 of Inceptors, 1 3-man, and then 2 5-mans. He has a patrol detachment, also a Salamanders. He has a captain on bike, who's Forge Master, who's got a Power Fist, Rights of War, Storm Shield, Exemplar of Promethean Creed, and the Salamander's Mantle. This guy is very, very hard to kill. He has a unit of 10 Intercessors with bot rifles that are usually combat squads. Not sure if he has today. Maybe he just wanted to keep the bodies spread out. And then he has another unit of 5 Blade Card Veterans and a Primaris Apothecary, of course, uploaded to Chief Apothecary with Selfless Healer. Very good list, man. I'm actually a big fan of Blade Guard in general, just because I think they're very cheap for what they do, and I'm not sure if 15 I'm not sure if 15 is the right amount. I usually prefer the idea of 10, because then you still get things like Vanguard Veterans, which I think I'd rather see. I'd rather see a unit of Vanguard Veterans. Maybe instead of taking 10 Intercessors, take 5, and then drop off a unit of 5 5 Blade Guard, take a 10-man Vanguard Veteran squad, go in and get some work done. Hell, even a unit of Aggressors, Flamer Aggressors in reserve would actually be a nice little tech piece to chuck in for Gabe. But just looking at what's happened here, have you got an early prediction of who you think is going to carry this?
Well, I think it's going to come down to one or two things. So obviously, like we've seen, Liam knows that he's going to have to push in early, and he's going to have to keep his units a bit more closer together than he has in previous games, because he's been caught out a little bit at times there with coherency. It's interesting to know these two lists are sort of geared towards almost fighting each other. So we know that the Space Marines are quite capable of killing elite infantry units. They have the gun and the firepower and the melee combats to do that. But having said that, Liam has purposely made this list to be able to beat Space Marines, because we know the meta in America, even though it's not quite developed yet, is something that everyone follows worldwide. And this Space Marine list that we have here is tailored exactly to what the American meta think is the top list right now.
So, and it's also interesting to note the meta that Liam comes from, where he's got very strong Sisters players, very strong Grey Knight players, very strong AdMech players, and very strong Marine players. So him playing something of this ilk makes all the sense in the world, man.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So we're looking at a lot of Space Marines sort of being removed here from that possessed unit early. So Liam's tagged in there. There was a unit of Blade Guard, as you mentioned, on the right. They have been removed.
Yep, I've just hit the transition. Apologies, man. I might have given you. Might have given you.
No, you're
heads
good,
up.
man.
I did just hit the transition over to our Gabe versus Luke game. I think this is the one I want to watch the most, or I've got the most interest in. And yes, I am biased. I'm a Black Templars player. Good for him. We've seen. If you want to, actually, unfortunately, they haven't put in their secondaries. I might have to send the lovely Chelsea out when she feels like it to go and give him a kick up the wazoo. Luke Pierce, his game.
Of all people, Luke should know better.
He should know better. He's been on this stream with us. He knows how frustrating it is when we can't really call a game. Thank you, Chelsea. But yeah, what can you see deployment-wise happening here?
I see a bit of a hustle in. We see a big building on the right-hand side there. So Gabe, he's been on the stream already today. We've seen a bit of action from him. We know he's a very cagey sort of player. Was up against Liam and was able to do a lot of tricks there, and was able to keep the game against Liam upright until turn 5. So it seems to be that he's getting a bit of a casual deployment here. He's got some nice red deployment zone sticks hanging out, so we can see how far up to his deployment zone is, which is very nice.
Which one?
So I'm expecting a few movement.
Yeah, which one of these two lists have you got up, mate? Do you want to read through Gabe's list for us, so it gives a picture of what people are going to say?
Yeah, no worries at all, mate. I can do that for you.
Oh,
here we go. So he is running an Eldari Jukari detachment. The HQ's wise, he is running a Succubus troops. He has a unit of witches, and then times 6. And then he has fast attack wise, he has 2 lots of Reavers, which we've seen him use for some little secondaries cruising around the table there. Then he has 2 dedicated transports of Raiders going into another patrol detachment. He has an Obsession with a custom coven, Dark Technomancers, and the Master of Mutagens. He has a raiding force there with 2 Homoculuses, some units of Rax in his troops, so 3 units of them. Heavy support-wise, he has a Reaper. Then he has a bunch of Venoms that he's able to use to float around and keep all these little troops alive. He also has another unit here, another HQ of Homunculus and another bunch of Rax. So he's definitely making the best use he can of that FAQ. And in that final fast attack slot, he has another unit of Scourges there and a Reaper. 2 more Reapers. So he's definitely got a lot of units floating around here.
He's got a good array of different offensive profiles, doesn't he? He's got a bunch of Hex Rifles and Ossifactors, so he can spike a couple of mortal wounds here, there, and everywhere. On top of that, the Reapers have 2 different modes of fire, one of those being extremely deadly to things like Redemptors, which is something that Luke Pierce definitely has. And then he has all the racks inside. He has all the Ravagers, the Reavers, Reavers, Ravagers, Raiders, whatever, the Reaver jet bikes, who can be quick little units to go out and get a bunch of points for him, in addition to what he I assume would be deep striking Scourges with Shredders. Jumping over to Luke Pierce, my boy, my heart, my Black Templars champion. He's got a Vanguard detachment, Chaplain Grimaldus, Exaltation of Rage, Canticle of Hate, Litany of Hate, all the good stuff. Then he has a Primus Chaplain on bike, Litany of Divine Protection, 5+4 on a pain for those at home, Fervent Acclamation, Ancient Breviary, whatever it is, and Company Command, Master of Sanctity with Litany of Hate as well, of course. 2 Redemptive Dreadnoughts, Fragstorm Grenade Launchers, Macroplasma Incinerators, Onslaught Gatling Cannons, 2 of those, a unit of 5 Terminus Assault Squad, all with Thunderhammer Storm Shields, 3 with Thunderhammer Storm Shields, 3 with Lightning Claws, 2 units of Vanguard Veterans, half with Astartes Chainsaws Storm Shields, the other half with Power Fists, a unit of 4 Plasma Inceptors, and then a patrol detachment. This one has a captain on bike with Chapter Master, Master of the Codex, and the Teeth of Terror. He has a Reaver Lieutenant with Rights of War and Hero of the Chapter with the Crusader's Helm. So that's a 9-inch aura of Obsec for those at home. And then also has the 9-inch aura of Deny Obsec. An increased aura of Deny Obsec later, should he wish it. Unit of Infiltrators and a Primaris Apothecary, of course, the Selfless Healer. This is a list that was written by Hayden Baldock and then borrowed by Luke for this game. And Hayden, I would love me to call him out and say, yes, this is his list, and it's doing extremely well. You'd be very proud of your boy, Luke, picking up this one, using it to great effect. I'm a big fan of this list. I think it's one of the best and most well-rounded lists in the game, in this event, and it's very well poised to play into a multitude of different styles. The explosive nature of it cannot be underestimated, and I can tell you right now, having 2 Redemptors and then 1 unit of Inceptors are probably around all the fire support you need when you're going to be putting this much pressure on your opponent in addition. Where do you think they're sitting? Do you think the Dark Elder have gone first, or have they not rolled for first turn yet?
I don't know if they've rolled for turn first. I think we're going to see a lot of movement there from Gabe once he does get his first turn. Yeah. What we will do is we will run through those secondaries now that we have them available. Thank you very much to the boys for putting them in. So Gabe has gone for Engage on All Fronts. He has gone for While We Stand, We Fight, and he's gone for Deploy Scramblers. They are the exact same 3 that we saw him take against Liam earlier. Did you want to run through Luke's there, Adam? Yeah,
sure. Luke's taken Oath of Moment. Makes a lot of sense in the world. He can actually get that while staying on the other side of the line side blocking terrain. I think that's a very powerful thing for him to be able to do. There's also a hell of a lot of vehicles for him to pick up for Oath of Moment. I would be very surprised if he didn't max that. Grind them down so that kill more. Of course, 100% it will be something he can definitely do. Each one of his Vanguard veteran squads could easily go into 2 of these squads, or hell, even 2 Venoms and pull both of them down and bring it down. Having 2 Raiders worth and 5 Venoms worth 1 point each, and then 3 Reapers that are worth 2 points each. It's definitely get a decent score on that. He's playing to wipe. He's playing to wipe. From the looks of things. That could be playing into Gabe's hands, but like you said, he's very much a cagey player and will sit back and do not much at all, just sending things out to mess up with your primary. Because this is Vital Intelligence. This is hold 2, hold 3, hold more.
Yes, you are correct there. I'll just double check on that.
I'll
double check on that.
I was told that by one of the boys. I was told that by Liam Packard, actually, which is pretty funny. He said, "No, this is the last of the 6 objective missions that we're going to be playing for this event."
We have seen a lot so far. Like you mentioned, it looks like Gabe is going first. He's moving up a bit of a unit there in the middle of the table there. So I believe Gabe may have had to take first note.
Yeah, just looking at the guys in the chat, Sab Rubino, it would have been sick to see a couple of 20-man POF rack blobs in this list. Absolutely right, Sam Rubino. It would have been very, very cool to see more racks and blobs of 20 of them. I think spamming the 20-man racks would be the best army in the game right now. I don't think that's going to be the best army in the game come the Drakari Codex, but if someone wanted to break this event wide open, that's what I would have taken if I wanted to secure and guarantee the best ability to win this event. That list is ridiculous.
Who knows how long we're going to get that for, so get it in there while you can.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be around much longer. I'm of the opinion that we'll no longer have a 4+ invulnerable save or, be able to be respawned with cornucopias and things in the new codex. I'm going to hit the transition button. We're going to jump over to the Matt Morrisoli and Shane game, the Nids vs. Chaos. As soon as we see that transition come up, please give us a rundown of the score sheet, mate. Love to hear your thoughts, what these guys are taking.
No worries.
Should have come up for you now.
So, yeah, I've got it here. So this is table 1. These are the two guys undefeated currently at the moment. We'll go through Matt Morrisoli's first. So he has gone vital ground. He has gone engage on all fronts, and he has gone with grind them down. So he's very confident that he's going to be able to get through all the gribblies of those Tyranids. Did you want to run us through Shane's there, Adam?
Yeah, Shane's taken engage on all fronts, vital ground also, and deploy scramblers. He's really not gonna leave home without deploy scramblers. There's no way, no how. He's teched too heavily into getting
Not when
that.
you've got that Lictor in your back pocket there.
It's so handy, isn't it? There is legitimate possibilities that he could get zoned out from that, but I don't really realistically think that's going to happen. Solly would have to sit back too hard and just, in all honesty, just not do enough in order to deny that. For the vital ground and deploy scramblers, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Vital ground is going to be an interesting one. That's how many, you do an action on one objective and then you score the amount of points proportionate to how many that you're on at the time in the start of your command phase. So, you can score that. You have one infantry unit on your backfield, e.g. the Demonettes for Mr. Morrisoli. Looks like we're already into Matt's turn 2.
So from memory, also you can move once. Yeah, it looks like it is. Yeah, so from memory, you can also move off these objectives. You can cap them, move off them, and they are yours until someone caps them. Am I correct on that one there, Adam?
Yes, I believe these ones you can move off 100%. So looks like Matt's doing a lot of measuring on the mid side of the table as well. Looks like he's had his first turn. He's just got some engagement or front points, and that is it. So looks like he's doing some measuring. I'm not quite sure what he'd be doing this measuring for. He's had a pretty static phase. Just to do a quick call.
Well, none of his Terminators are on the table there, so we could be seeing some kind of deep strike play there by his Terminators.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really interested to know why he didn't deploy. I would have deployed one of his units. Maybe there is one right above that orange ruin sitting there out of line of sight from us. But yeah, I think one unit of Terminators on the board may have been a good plan, but he might have been scared of the double shooting Bivors or Hive Guard because they can do a hell of a lot of wounds to those guys. So maybe the deep strike is the better option. Looks like he might be slinging.
Yeah, that's a very good point there.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing a lot of measuring. I wonder what he's doing because he's measuring from the NID side of the table. So he wants to see what some of the potential moves are. Maybe wants to see which objectives he needs to invest in or not. The NIDs have definitely moved out from their deployment zone. So maybe this is Matt's turn 2. Maybe he already had his turn 1 and all he did was just jostle around, had the 2 NID turn 2, and we're into his top of turn 2. That'd be a big reason why he'd be measuring those dice out. But like Gabe didn't score any, so Shane didn't score any engagement or fronts. Yeah, weird.
No. We've seen a big move here.
Yeah, that is a very interesting one. Why is he hunting the Maleceptor, do you think?
I am not quite sure. Maybe because you've mentioned many times on the chat today that it is one of the greatest units the Tyranids have, and it is quite terrifying. Yeah, just while we're there, we have a couple of guys in the chat. Carl Smith, terrain features cannot be set up on objective markers. Correct. Am I seeing in a few matches that this rule is disregarded? Yes, so the 40 mil from the center is actually where you cannot set up on any terrain. Majority of these, I say maybe the top left-hand one is the only one that could be a little bit iffy, but I think what you'll find is that is our balcony party that we've had throughout the day, and I think that balcony actually steps in a fair bit towards the actual building itself.
Yeah,
so that upper level may be above the 40 mil, but everything else will be clear of the 40 mil from the center.
I've just been handed another Super Duper, guys. It is very hot here. Excuse me if you feel some crunching. I'll try and mute myself. But dude, there's nothing better than a Super Duper. It evokes so much nostalgia for me. This must be Solly's turn 2, guys. It must be. I mean, he hasn't scored any primary points.
Yeah, 100% has to be because the Tyranid's moved out of his deployment zone, like you've said there.
So I'm pretty sure it is. Looks like he's screening. Looks like he's checking for deep strikes. He wants to keep those Lictor out. I think maybe he's playing to deny scramblers because he only needs to do it for 3 turns. And if his opponent went first, he's only really got kind of 2 opportunities to get that guy down. If he does drop in the front, denying 10 points to scramblers might be enough to really swing this game one way or another. But I don't want to know why he's got -1 to wound. Is it the -1 to wound one, and therefore like he's not afraid of the shooting as much? Like because I wouldn't have thought it'd be all that hard for him to kill that keeper either in combat or by shooting. Admittedly, though, the hero drill might be out of position to kill that keeper.
Definitely could be, and it is an interesting play to see, especially it go up by itself. Whether or not at the end of this movement phase we're going to see some Terminators drop down and support that, so we can see some firing lanes coming out. There's a very good chance that they hold the center of the table there. He's going to actually have to start spreading out so that Solly can start getting some engage on all front points. So I'm interested to see what he does with his Terminators there. They could be something that is helping to achieve that goal.
Yeah, I think we've got to be seeing Terminator's turn. There's no real reason for him to be lining off quite so many dice points and doing the measurements. And that keeper, if it has to charge into Gaunts, is wholly exposed and is overextended. What I would really love to see is the Terminators come down behind. He clears up that line of gaunts, and that keeper runs in and tags both the Tyrannofex and the Maliceptor to tie both of those up. That would be a really slick little bit of play. Not that I think the Tyrannofex scares him all that much, but I think over time the keeper actually beats both of them in combat, which is a little bit sad.
Yeah, definitely. And having the benefit of seeing Shane Condi play a couple of times, we know that he's very happy to just throw out his little gaunts and get rid of them and win the game based on his big bugs. So if Soli is able to take 50% of those big bugs off him and away from him on turn 1, that's obviously going to play a bit in his favour.
You're absolutely right. The guys are just talking about my super duper ASMR. No, there will be none of that. I'll be muting myself at all possible times. Sanguinarius, triple quad 9. Is there any house rules / an FAQ for this tournament? Yes, there is. There's been a couple of ambiguous rules that this tournament has ruled on. Some more controversial than others. So yeah, feel free to look those up. They might be on the Adelaide Uprising Facebook page. I'm not willing to speak to whether they're right or wrong. It's out of my hands. It's Tio's call. And in my opinion, it really doesn't matter. Terminator's coming down, man. Do we see one blob? Do we see two blobs?
We are.
I'm not quite sure. So what's interesting here is the Terminators can be deployed to double shoot into the gaunts and then might be able to get a charge into the gaunts above with the goodness from Emperor's Children. What do you think? Do you think that's likely?
Yeah, I think it is. I wouldn't be surprised to see a double shoot based on them being Emperor's Children. And speaking of that, we got a bit of a message earlier from what I said was Eric Lathuris mentioning that they were Emperor's Children, when in fact that was the man Lee Abbey that was pointing that out. So shout out to Lee. I was giving out incorrect information, and Lee is the one that knows everything about this. He is the man. Thank you very much, Lee.
Don't do that to him. Well, don't do that to me. I have to live with him. Well, not live with him. I have to hang out with him. No, this is a good dude.
No, I think you're right, though, Adam. I think we're going to see a double shoot there, screening those lines. I think all those gaunts are going to have some trouble there with those Terminators. That's why I've been seeing most of those measuring.
Well, it looks like he's definitely not going for a charge with those dudes because he's going to be shooting and clearing everything in front of him. Unless the Terminator's going to try and kill one of the big bugs, which I actually think is unlikely.
So he's obviously moved on here then. I'm guessing that second unit isn't dropping down?
Yeah, I'd guess that second unit isn't coming down for sure. He might want to see where his opponent goes before he commits the other one.
He could do, yeah. I think even putting him in that bar, either just straight behind the other one that he's got there, or even in the left-hand side there into his back lines, it's actually going to cause a bit of a drama for that Tyranid to be able to deal with all these options. So, yeah, I'd be tempted to drop both those Terminators down turn 1 early, rather than piecemeal myself in.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't gone for a charge into those top gaunts with another squad. He's going to be killing himself out of charge range in order to open up the charge for the keeper. The other unit of Terminators could have come down, blitzed that unit of warriors behind the gaunts, and then gotten an auto charge or the 98% charge into those gaunts in front and chopped them up. That would really put a lot of pressure onto Shane's primary, which I think would be a very good call. I really want to know what's up top behind the orange ruin at the top of Matt Morris's deployment. Is that the other unit of Terminators? And they've lost a couple, and they're hunkering up back there. It'd be interesting to see what they do if they are. They might have lost, like I said, lost a few to Biovores and Hiveguard.
Speaking of the Hiveguard, I'd be very interested to know if they are on that balcony party. That seems like a perfect place to position those Hiveguard.
How good is the balcony party meme? It's just a gift that keeps on giving, man.
It definitely is, man. So we're looking at Soli here. So his beast that he's got there, he's got a unit of 5 down the bottom and a unit of 4 at the top. Originally, that was a unit of 5, yeah? So he's lost one of them?
Yeah, he's lost one of them. The unit of 5 seems intact. I'd be really weird that if he put fire into the beasts, I mean, I would have been into the keepers for my mind. Like, probably you target out the keepers. The beasts don't actually do that much damage, and they're not obsec, so they can't really stop you from scoring. So for my mind, the Bivor should be putting pressure on the keeper, yeah? The lock. Should be putting pressure on the lock, right? Because their mortal wounds ignore all the bonuses and all the benefits that you have with that impossible rose 3+ invulnerable save.
Yeah, you're 100% right there. I'd say the Lord of Change would probably be more of a key there. I don't know. That's why I was bringing it up. I don't know what the beasts would be, why they would be a priority. And just having a look in the chat, Adam, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes, I did. Stefan Wolfmother. Thank you so much, dude. That's a $14.99 So $14.99. Super chat donation, dude. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Definitely will get a couple of drinks now. Thank you so much, dude. I really, really appreciate it. Here comes the shooting phase. It's about to open up.
Yeah, on that too. We have a couple other guys in the chat there saying good day as well. We got Paul Greenwood and Simon has dropped in. Good afternoon.
Wonderful.
Simon.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, welcome to the game. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Solly's lining up his shooting phase now. It looks like we're about to see probably a hellacious amount of gaunts go down. His first round of fire should probably kill all the gaunts in front. So the second round will let him do something like put some shots into maybe the Tyrannifex or the Maliceptor. To my mind, like, he's going to be wounding on 5s at best with Veterans of the Long War into the Tyrannifex or the Exocrine, so maybe he doesn't go for those. But yeah, the Maliceptor is only tough to 7, so there is a chance to put some wounds there.
Yeah, 100% it is, man. Eric's pointing out in the chat there that he thinks the Nurglings will be in the top center building there.
Yeah,
that's where he thinks that Solly will be hiding them.
Literally just looked at his list and I'm like, there's only 2 things apart from the stuff that I can see that could be taking wounds. And there's obviously a wound counter on the unit. It's either Nurglings or Terminators. And yeah, and most likely they're the Nurglings. Because the how small that Terminator unit would have to be to sit an objective would make me think that putting them on the table was an absolutely terrible mistake. Those Gaunts are kaput, guys. They're all being picked up right now. There's a full unit of 20 picked up by the Terminators.
Yeah, and that was still just the first round of shooting, correct?
Yeah, first round of shooting. I'm not even sure if he wants to shoot again, to be honest.
So that was about to be my next question, Adam. When do you declare that shooting? So do you have to declare it when you do your initial shooting phase, or once you finish, you can declare them as to shoot again?
After you've shot, yeah. Anytime. I think it's just in the shooting phase. After a unit has anytime after a unit is shot, pretty much. So he could do it at the end of the shooting phase. Cool. He can do it at the start. I'm not quite sure if they have to do it back to back. There might be a clause saying they have to do it back to back. Someone in the chat will know for sure.
Yep. Well, Solly's obviously making some options here, so he's looking at these bigger bugs that we've got here. Would you waste some time double shooting one of them?
To my mind, I actually wouldn't. I actually probably would not. Save the 2 CP. You might find you need it more down the road. Those Terminators are not going to do all that much to that stuff. The only one that can probably hurt is the Maliceptor. Maybe they shoot and kill the Maliceptor, which will expose the Broodlord. That could be a bit of a play for him.
Is that Maliceptor a character by any chance?
No, it's not a character. Nah.
Okay, sweet. So they can just pole right through that.
Yeah. So what I mean is, like, yeah, if they kill the Maliceptor, the only thing that's stopping the Keeper getting into the Broodlord is just the fact that he can't get within an inch. If the Maliceptor was to go down, 100%. It looks like he's looking for his ranges against the Exocrine. I don't mind that. No, he's going into the Maliceptor. Yeah. Double shoot into the Maliceptor. I wonder how much this is going to do. It's unlikely he kills him here with the Reaper autocannon shots. If he's put Veterans or Long War on these guys already, this is going to pay out. He's going to win him on 3s. We'll see what happens there. Looks like 3 wounds. It's going to be -2, so it's going to be 5 up saves from the Maliceptor. What's your prediction, man? How many wounds? How many wounds is this guy going to get through?
6. Let's go with 6. Eric's pointed out that he'd be shocked if he didn't position the Termies to be able to shoot both Gaunt units. I thought that initially when I dropped them down, but just based on line of sight, I don't think it's possible for Solly to see the ones on the top left-hand side at all.
Look, honestly, we don't know how far into the box that unit strings. They couldn't all honesty be like right in the corner next to the wall with that full unit. Let's have a quick count. I think we can pretty much see all the Gaunts there. I'm counting around 18, 19 there. So it could be 2 inside that box, making it a doable charge. But he's put himself too far away on the other side of the bushes. So he's going to be taking -2. I would have thought he would have positioned himself to shoot, clear one unit, and charge into the other one. I've got no answers to you why he didn't do that. Maybe he's thinking on another level to us. Because admittedly, one unit of Terminators kills all the Gaunts, right?
That's it, yeah. So he could have been able to double shoot both of them, like Eric's suggesting there, and just shoot both of them off the table.
Yeah, it looks like he's done what? I'm going to say stuff all to that Exocrine. I didn't expect him to do much. But maybe he'd done the math in his head and he realized he only needs to take like 3 or 4 wounds off to be like, to have an 80-90% chance that the Keeper pulls him down. I think it's pretty good.
The Keeper is definitely going to be doing some of the heavy lifting there.
Yeah, I mean, the Maliceptor, I think, has a 5+ invuln base, but I don't think it's going to save him. The Keeper's just got too many great attacks.
Not due to the weight of fire of the Keeper, yeah.
I think we've had a charge move. I think there's something in the bottom right-hand corner here. Oh, it's going to be a Spore Mine. Yeah, he's just getting rid of some Spore Mines now, using his
Oh,
charge
Spore
moves.
Mines.
Using his charge move onto the Spore Mines to leverage, increase his screening ability, get deeper into his opponent's thing. That is one of the issues with Spore Mines. If you've got units like Beasts that don't mind taking a bunch of mortal wounds, it's actually like they actually can just be used as a leapfrog. As you can see, there's one Spore Mine just below and to the right of that bottom right Beast, and one just above the third one in the middle one. They're both going to get popped. The Beast will take 2d3 mortal wounds, and he's not going to care. Pretty good play there by Sully. He's played enough nids. Lord knows he's played enough nids to know how to deal with Spore Mines effectively. But the reality is, apart from his cultists, he can't shoot any of these nids dead. He's even charging a keeper into one of the Spore Mines. He just does not care at all. I love it.
I'm all for this. The Spore Mines for a very long time were the bane of my existence, so I'm all for the removal of these Spore Mines.
I'm not sure. Well, I'm questioning where they are Spore Mines now. They might be his Ripper Swarms. He's got a unit of 3 Ripper Swarms. That might be what's underneath the keeper's the lock's wings. But that one definitely to the bottom right of that beast is 100% a Spore Mine. Yeah, there couldn't be anything else, right?
No, I think you're right there. It could just be a bit of a play to get a bit extra movement out of these units here. He's just going to tag them and continue on towards the Tyranids moving forward. So that could be the case.
He is.
Well, you got there's lots of chat about grabbing some beer, so I'm going to head to the fridge and I'm going to grab myself one. I will be back.
Good lad. Struth from Logan Summer. Love it. Eric, of course. Eric is the gentleman who's given us all the most practice against the Nid Menace. And of course, the punitive effects of Spore Mines can be countered by the fact that you can use them to leapfrog. So it looks like he's gone for the big charge with the Terminators. I think he's made it. I think he has made it. You animal, Sully. Absolute animal. That was a big charge. I believe he was probably about at least 11 inches away. So one of the 2 dice he rolled had to have been a 4 or a 5 at a minimum to ensure that charge. He's getting himself outside 3 inches of the Broodlord as well, just to make sure he can't get chronically intervened. I'm of the opinion that you should put yourself in 3 of the Broodlord if you did attempt to heroic intervene. But admittedly, you can't declare the charge on him now, because you didn't make it all the way. Is he going to go in front of the Keeper with this charge? No, it doesn't look like it. Keeper will go around, go into the Maleceptor. And man, the whole reason I think he's doing this play is because this will really isolate. This will really, really, really isolate his opponent. And we've got the Keeper of Secrets just going to go into that Maleceptor with an auto charge. I think it could have failed, maybe a Snake Eyes. But yeah, he's just got into that Maleceptor. Maleceptor will be killed. Whether or not he kills the Tyrannofex is a question for, I think, Eric Lethurus. What's the over-under here? With Veterans of the Long War, so wounding on 4s, rerolling to wound with -2. I think it's 14 wounds on the Tyrannofex. How likely is he to get that done? George, Matty wants to wrap this up in the next 30 minutes. Get some rest in. Dude, I cannot blame him for that. This is his 9th game of 40k in 3 days, and he's got another 2 tomorrow. So whatever rest he can get in today and tonight will pay dividends. You're back, mate. Have you seen what he just did?
I sure am. Yeah, mate, I saw those Terminators coming on the charge, and then I've seen that Keeper come around. He's actually made an effort to base that Tyrannid Gribbly there. So he's done everything he could to make sure that he's tied everything up. So yeah, he's quite aggressive there. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
Spore Mine in the bottom right-hand corner has been picked up. E.g., that's why there's a wound counter on that beast. The Keeper of Secrets has copped some wounds as well. And of course, that's because of the other Spore Mine. So it was definitely a Spore Mine. This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. Looks like he's doing his saves now on the Maleceptor with the Keeper going first. Of course, Keeper always strikes first. It's going to go first. Maleceptor picked up. Will he consolidate into the Broodlord? Oh, he knows no chill. He's done it. Oh, no, I think he's an inch away.
He is going for it.
Nah, he's an inch away. He stopped an inch away. Mad Dog. Big play, Sully. He's getting it all done. What game would you like us to switch to next, guys? Please let us know in the chat. We might go back to our
Let's have a look at Luke Pierce. Come on, we've all been dying to see Luke Pierce. Everyone wants to see him on the chat, on the stream here.
Dude,
let's get it going.
My boy, my babe. Let's see. Eric's just told us in chat, I imagine he wants to pin it with the Keeper and the Termies. Probably unlikely to kill it. Looks 6 up, feeling no pain from Leviathan. Good call. Very good call. Yep. That's why I asked you, brother. I thought you'd know for sure. We seen any score updates here, mate?
Not really yet. So everyone is still currently on 0. It looks like both players have probably had one turn. I'd say Gabe. It looked like previously Gabe was going first. Luke seems to be having... Luke's removing models off the table now. So probably Luke has gone first. I will correct myself there.
Yeah.
And Gabe seems to be having his turn 1 now.
So we've got 9. We know he only has to his chagrin. He only has 9-man units of Vanguard veterans. So he's got a 9-man poised behind that piece of line of sight blocking terrain. In the top left-hand corner, I thought that was his infiltrators. It looks like they've been invested in by the Reavers, and what looks to be a unit of Venom backing them up. We know Gabe is really, really proficient at playing the primary game, and if you'll see what he's doing right now, he's on 4, so he's on 5 of the 6 objectives, and he's threatening the home objective as well. See the unit of Reavers at the bottom, below the Vanguard vets in the middle?
Yep, I saw do.
Yeah. Do you think they're poised to make a charge this turn? Or do you think...
I'd say they almost have to be. The what could be a little sneaky play here from Gabe is to sit on those 4 objectives for a couple of turns and start raising them, so that it is impossible for Luke to actually start creeping them back. That could be a sneaky little play I'd like to see from Gabe.
Wrong mission, unfortunately. This one is
is it? I thought this was the raise mission.
Nah, that was the last one.
Yeah, true. This is the one. This is the one where you can cruise off. That is correct.
Yeah,
my bad.
Neither of the players took it, so it's probably neither here nor there. I do think that the Reapers have jumped that deep into his deployment zone simply to get the 3 points on engage in all fronts, because I realised that they're the only unit they probably could have reached out and done that. While we stand, we fight for Gabe. Again, he's taken the 3 Reapers. He seems to be playing these 3 Reapers as immovable objects. Well, sorry, not movable, but impervious to harm. We saw his play against Liam Hackett, and yeah, he didn't lose a single one of his Reapers, so he plays those very, very, very well.
Yeah, that's it. And he seems to have them in a very similar position as he did during that game, just holding back in his deployment zone. In a bit of a triangle there, able to move all 3 of them away or together to support each other. I'm just having a bit of a look here at Luke's deployment there. So on the bottom left-hand side seems to be where both of his Redemptors are. And they are sitting behind that objective. They're just inside the ruin. So they've obviously got access outside the building because they will be sitting on top of the terrain piece so they can see. But as we've seen a fair bit on this table, the center blocking piece of terrain covers a lot of the table. So Luke doesn't actually have a lot of line of sight out to firing lanes here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the positioning of those Dreadnoughts?
The Dreadnoughts are playing pretty passively right now, which I'm pretty interested. It's pretty interesting that he's doing that. It really looks like there's some interesting things happening in the middle of the table. Looks like Gabe is scooted up to be touching that terrain piece so he can shoot into those Vanguard veterans. Whether that's a great idea or not, we're going to see. It looks like he's only killed 1 or 2. Might be declaring a charge on him, which could be suicide. It could be absolute insanity, but maybe he's just trying to deny him getting further inroads into his deployment zone, and tying those guys up with a couple of Venoms could be the right call. We will see. Yeah, but those Redemptors are having no part in the game right now. I'm really interested to know why that is. Maybe he's just positioned them so that next turn he can get them out more effectively. But to my mind, I believe it's only 36-inch range on the Reapers. So they would have to move up considerably to get range into the Dreads. And then, if they don't kill the Dreads, which they're not crazy likely to kill the Dreads. I mean, all 3 of them definitely killed 1. I don't know if all 3 killed 2, though. Maybe someone in the chat will be able to do the math for us and figure that out. But then, 1 Dread kills a Reaper every time, pretty much. Really, really reliably. As long as they can get all their shots in. But I suppose that's the issue, yeah?
So the left hand... definitely. So the ruin on the left-hand side, Luke's units that he's got in there, what has he actually got sitting in that ruin there?
Which ruin, sorry? The left-hand side?
On the left-hand side, the one, yeah.
I believe that would probably be his other unit of Vanguard vets, yeah? He's got 1 unit in the right, he's got another unit there, and then he's got his bike captain, which is actually on a Griffin, because he's Howling Griffins.
Oh, yes, that's what it is, yeah. These are Ducks models, yeah.
These are Duckies. So, yeah, he's doing quite well here so far, with only dropping the 1 game, which, of course, was to Mr. Morrisoli earlier in day 1. So, look, we've seen a charge from the Reapers into what I believe is infiltrators in the top left-hand corner. Those infiltrators are OBSEC, so it's actually quite important that they stay alive in order for Luke to get any primary in what I believe is going to be the top of his turn 2 momentarily.
Yeah, it's not looking like he has any other primary. He's actually playing quite conservative, sitting back and allowing Gabe to control the table early. Yeah,
we're gonna jump to our essentially Marine on Marine, but it's possessed on Marine a game, because I see a lot less. I see a lot less possessed on this table, but I also see quite a few less Marines as well. So this should come up for you right now. Yeah, look, there's a lot less possessed, guys.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, that definitely is. So I'll just have a quick run down the scores there before we get stuck into what is actually happening on the table there. We're seeing a bit of an advance on score. So Liam Hackett, he has a 20-point primary, 2 for data intercept, 1 for raise the banners, and 6 for grind them down, coming to a total of 39, versus Jay Hansen, who is currently on 0 for primary, 1 for Data Intercept, 2 for Oath of Moments, and 1 for Raise the Banner on 14. So Liam is actually getting a bit of an early lead here.
He's getting a massive early lead, guys. We've got one unit of Possess sitting in the rightmost L, and then another compromised unit sitting in the left. I'm of the opinion that means his other unit is completely kaput. That unit that went in early is entirely dead. The issue is here, Jay is being really, really corralled into this back board edge, and this is a hold 2, hold more. So he's not going to be getting any primary sitting back there. He needs to really get out and do some work. But we thought the same thing in the Jeremy Martino Marigold game, where we thought Jeremy had him quite contained. He was able to get a big win. So maybe we're reading this wrong, and maybe some things are about to take place here. It looks like he's just got a big charge with Possessed into what looks to be some Plasma Inceptors. Either that or that is a Warp Time move. Man, a big charge from there into the Inceptors, into, or his Master of Sanctity on the bike, and into the Blade Guard. You could see enough dead here that it's impossible for him to contest the rest of the board. Liam knows no chill. Liam has no chill. And Jay Hansen deployed very defensively with his line of Inceptors behind. But man, how much do you think he's going to get into? Like, it was a Warp Time, you can tell, yeah?
Yeah, definitely is a Warp Time. He's had a big jump there. If he's able to get into a fair chunk of those, he'll actually be able to take out those Inceptors, because he's going in with those flat 2 damage. Yes, they are toughness 3. Toughness 3 wounds each, but he's going to be able to do a fair chunk. We see him take away 10 Chaos Terminators in the previous game, so there's a good chance that a lot of those Inceptors are taking away pretty much any chance that Jay has of fighting back.
Yeah, exactly right. I think we were wrong. I don't think it was a Warp Time. I think it was just a big advance roll. If you'll see now, because he's moved both units up. Dude, man, look how many... He doesn't have many Possessed, man. He starts with 60. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's only down to 10 on the right unit. 1, 2, 3, 4... and 8 on the other unit. So he's already lost 32 of his Possessed. That's insane. He's going to be moving and advancing up Celeste as well. She's really quite killy and quite choppy. There is a strong to reasonable expectation here that all the Inceptors might be dead, and Celeste finishes off those Blade Guard. This could be it for Jay. But, dude, a couple of cheeky defensive stratagems, a couple of nice 4+ invulnerable saves, and this game could flip horrifically for Liam Hackett.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be, obviously, he'll be banking on doing some on some tricks here to try and keep alive. We've got a few questions in the chat here from Stefan Wolfmother. What turn is it in Liam's game? I believe this would be Liam's turn 3.
Yes, this is most likely. Oh no, this would be Liam's turn 2. Liam's turn 2. Because
so Liam is on 20 for the primary.
Oh, true. It can't be. It has to be Liam's turn 3. Wow, these guys are playing super quick.
Here for.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sorry, Matt. You're absolutely right. Continue. I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right. No, and so what I was trying to allude to before, but I tried to judge away because I'd completely forgotten the name of the stratagem. I believe Jay's going to be banking on a lot of transhuman here. So if he can transhuman these boys, keep as many of them alive as he can. The problem will be that Liam is going to be able to wrap a lot of that army. So I think this is pretty much clean up for the Mad Dog.
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's really weird to say that when literally half the Space Marine army is still here. But man, oh man, they're going to do a hellacious amount of firepower. Hellacious amount of attacks in combat. It would be an interesting thing to see if the Possessed get overwatched. Like if he declares a charge into one of the 5-man Inceptor units, does he risk an overheat Overwatch in order to kill maybe 3 or 4 of these guys? Especially on the rightmost unit that has more than 11 models. I think it would be very clever of him to declare a charge on the other unit first and tie up everything he can. He's rolling a bunch of powers. Looks like the larger squad is getting a bunch of the defensive powers, but there is still one power that's gone off on the leftmost unit. Probably both versions of Delightful Agonies have been cast this turn. And we might want to stick with this one because I'm of the opinion that this one is about to be cooked, about to be done.
This could be it wrapping up.
Really weird.
Thinking back to deployment, I'm pretty certain we saw all the Blade Guard and all the Inceptors, so everything that is in Jay's army is on the table. So this is it. He has nothing in reserve coming back. Well, so having a quick look in the chat. Sorry, man. The Tech Priest has been hitting us up. Didn't know this was happening. What are the top 4 armies in contention? So one of these would be the 3rd army in contention. Coming in first, we have Matt Morosoli. We have a Tyranid army coming in second. His name is Shane. Second name has escaped me. Adam, do you have that off by hand?
Condi,
that is it. And the other undefeated player we have currently is Jay Hansen, who is currently getting his pants pulled down by Hackett.
Well, yeah, he's not getting killed a lot yet. What he is he's getting very much corralled and contained, which is going to effectively be the same thing on the scoreboard, isn't it? So yeah, well, here comes the charges. I think there's well, we know there's no shooting phase. Oh man, he's overwatching for sure. He's overwatching, man.
Yeah, I
You
think you got
just
to go for
would,
it, man.
yeah, just would, wouldn't you? He'll do the overcharge. He'll have to do this one at a time. He's got a unit of 5 there. Here comes the 2d3s. What would be really interesting from Liam is if he does his charges, he just charges in. He's got 2 6s there on the first one. Is he just charges in and hits the 3-man and then taps the rest of them. Because it would be a big risk to take this much Overwatch. And of course, he doesn't need to kill his entire army. He really doesn't. All he needs to do is just tap him, stop him from shooting, stop him from doing whatever they want. Admittedly, with only Inceptors really to defend, because I assume he's got a unit of 2 Blade Guard. That's what's the closest unit to Celeste is, yeah? I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah, I do believe that is the case.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think you're right there, at the top there, yep.
With only them and a chapter master really to kind of punch back into this army, he can really tap everything with impunity, which I think is probably the more terrifying thing. He's lost.
Yeah, definitely. So
he lost an Inceptor to the overheats. So risky take, guys. He lost a second one. Wow.
Oh man. So just looking at what Liam has in the backfield there on the right hand side, it looks like he has some cultists sitting in that ruin on the right-hand side there. So that's able, so like you've mentioned there, if he can just hold the game on and just continue the game ticking over, they can sit there and score primary for him and allow him to just cap out on primary. I would not be too surprised also to see another unit of cultists in that blue building on the top right.
Yep, totally agree, man. That makes all the sense in the world to me. He's made that charge. Dude, he killed 1 Possessed and lost 2 Plasma Inceptors. Oh, man, that sucks. Very sorry to hear it, Jay. That is rough. This scoreline is looking pretty good for Mr. Liam Hackett as well. Points-wise, there are so many more points left on the table right now for for the Space Marines than the Chaos, like 2-1 points-wise. But it just doesn't matter, man. You just don't need much Possessed to do a lot of work. I think he Snake Eyes that charge, by the way.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It looks like a double. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Seems Celeste to be still going in.
Yeah, Celeste made the charge. She failed the first one with a CP roll, made the next. Looks like he's at least gotten a 4 on one of the dice. Can't quite with the other one, but that's probably all he needs. Yeah, man, this is going to be bad. At least 2 units of these Inceptors are going to be picked up this
Liam's
turn.
sort of going around that crater there so that... Yeah, there's not too much we can say here. It's just it depends on whether Jay can get some miracle dice happening, whether he can take out some of these possessed, which is very unlikely. Maybe it's a good chance right now just to take a moment to talk about our sponsors, Knights of Dice.
Yeah, dude, hit it up. I am actually buffering, so you go for it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just going up to our sponsors as we go. So let me go. First, we will go through our Knights of Dice, your very good friends from Victoria. They are specialising in laser cut products. Knights of Dice focus on developing a premium range of products, ensuring the majority